Over the weekend, the parents of the alleged Oxford, Michigan shooter, James and Jennifer Crumbley, were arrested after leading cops on a manhunt. Now, on Friday, they missed their scheduled arraignment on 4 charges of involuntary manslaughter for the actions of their son, Ethan Crumbley, who is being tried as an adult for murdering 4 people. So now they're accused, the parents are, of purchasing the 6-hour semi-automatic pistol their son allegedly used in the mass shooting incident as an early Christmas present, and then ignoring the warning signs that he intended to carry out an attack. Now, those warning signs, those red flags, were everywhere. Everywhere. Now, early Saturday, police said that they found the couple on the first floor of an industrial or commercial building in Detroit, some 40 miles south of the Oxford area where they live. After somebody tipped police Friday night, their vehicle was nearby. They appeared to be hiding in the building, Detroit Police Chief James White said during a news conference early on Saturday. White said that he didn't know their intentions, but that, quote, "This isn't indicative of turning themselves in. Hiding in a warehouse." Yeah, no kidding. And also, withdrawing $4,000 from an ATM before disappearing and hiding in said warehouse, that seems to be another indication. Also, turning off their cell phones, that's something else that they did as well to try to hide from police. Weird. It's almost as if they were on the run because they might have done something wrong. Weird. Now, White added that somebody who let the couple into the building, into that warehouse, somebody let them in. That person could also be facing charges. And on Monday, that person was identified as Oakland County resident Andre Sikora. Sheriff Michael Bouchard and Detroit Police Chief James White said over the weekend, 65-year-old could be charged if it was determined that he played a role in the disappearance of Ethan Crumbley's parents, Fox 2 Detroit reported. And this guy says, I didn't know they were, criminals. I don't even watch the news. They're just friends of mine. I didn't know anything happened. I didn't know there was a manhunt. No, I'm just going to let him in. Apparently they're what? So wait, you're saying that they just show up and say, please hide me in a warehouse. And that didn't seem suspicious to you. That wasn't a little sus? Really? Interesting. Very interesting. Now, Sikora's attorney, Clarence Doss, said in a statement that his client hasn't been charged with a crime and that he voluntarily contacted police to provide information after learning of their arrest on December 4th. Doss also said that the artist shared a friendly relationship with the couple, but was unaware that they had been charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter each. And they have both pleaded not guilty. Interesting. So, okay. Hiding in an abandoned building from cops, that's what they were caught after a manhunt. Now, the whole case, this whole case is something else. It really is. Reading about this, and knowing that it's happened in the same state, it really is just a fascinating example. Because here's the thing, this is one of the few times that a parent is actually being charged for the actions of their son. Now, the reason, of course, is you have a lot of red flags. The entire floor was covered with red flags about their son. A note Ethan had made during the day of the shooting contained a drawing of a semi-automatic handgun pointing at the words, "The thoughts won't stop, help me," and included a drawing of a bullet with blood everywhere written above, according to Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald. Now, between the drawing of the gun and the bullet is a drawing of a person who appears to have been shot twice and bleeding. Below that figure is a drawing of a laughing emoji. The note had also said, "My life is useless and the world is dead," scrawled on it. So if this is not an example of someone going full Joker, a total Joker-fied, I don't know what is. Holy crap. Now the parents, and this is the thing, the parents were shown the drawing and said, your son's not right. There's something wrong with him. Please, for God's sake, get this boy into counseling. There is something wrong with him. Something wrong with him. But no, they decided not to. No, of course not. Now, what's funny is that here you I've done so many stories of, like, if it were a black kid, generally what the response is, arrest them, throw them in jail. I don't think that's the right decision to make. I don't think that's the right thing to do, but I am saying that in that situation, the black kid, oh, of course they're going to jail. The cops will arrest them out of class in a moment's notice. You get a white kid like this, they just let him go back to class. And by the way, the parents didn't even ask if there was a gun. They didn't inspect his backpack for it, even knowing that this kid apparently loved guns and wanted to shoot people with those guns. And not only that, but they had resisted taking their son out of the school for the day so that he could get counseling. Okay? And of course, what happened? Well, the parents left. The kid shot up the school. Killed 4 people. 4 people. They're dead. 7 people injured, including a teacher. They're dead. 4 people are dead. I mean, it's disgusting. Now, at his arraignment on Wednesday, Oakland County Sheriff's Lieutenant Tim Willis also said the police had found videos on Ethan's phone made by him the night before the incident, where he talked about shooting and killing students the next day. So he's like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to make these videos saying that I am going to do this horrible, heinous crime. Red flag, red alert. There's something going on here with this kid. And they didn't do anything. Investigators also found a journal in Ethan's backpack detailing his desire to shoot the school, include murdering students. So, and yet, the gun, with all these red flags, that gun was left in an unlocked drawer in the couple's bedroom. Knowing all of that, knowing all the signs and indications that, hey, maybe there's a problem here with this kid. Maybe we should get him some help. Mental health care, they always talk about this. The right does. We don't need gun control. We need mental health care. Mental health care. Well, here you go to a situation where they said, hey, you should get your son some mental health care, okay? Because he's not acting like a normal 15-year-old kid, okay? There's something wrong here. And they said, not only that, not only are we not going to do anything, but we're also just going to leave the gun for him to get very, very easily. I think they should absolutely be held responsible for this. I mean, they bought him a gun Christmas and left it unlocked. Unlocked. And then, by the way, when he was caught at school, and that's what precipitated the whole meeting where they found the note, he was looking for ammunition for the gun at school on his phone. And his mother, when she found out, texted him saying, LOL, I'm not mad at you. You have to learn not to get caught. Yes, just don't get caught. Don't get caught. You'll be fine. Now, again, this next part, I feel a little weird bringing political affiliation into this. Because generally it shouldn't matter. But in this case, I think it's relevant. And it should be noted that she's a big Trump supporter and literally wrote an open letter to the former president in 2016 when he was president, saying how I love my Second Amendment rights. Thank you for protecting the Second Amendment, which then allowed me to go and buy a gun for my son, who then used it to murder people in school. Now, she also, in this open letter, claimed that she was skipping car insurance payments to hire a tutor for her son because of Common Core. Yes, it's Common Core in schools. And what was Common Core now is probably being referred to as critical race theory now. because of course. She seethed in the letter about schools where kids come from illegal immigrant parents and don't care about learning. Jason Crumbly, of course, had seen this and said, "My wife can be spot on sometimes." So I would like to say that our politics doesn't matter, but they do, unfortunately. Because here's the thing. Generally, they don't seem to believe in common sense gun measures, gun safety. Now, here's the thing. I think most gun owners actually do care. I know this is not a popular opinion on the left, but I think there are people who consider themselves and actually are fairly responsible gun owners. Yes, in fact, most gun owners are fine with things like locking up their guns, making sure that they're not easily accessible to their children. How many stories have we done where children will find a gun and either shoot themselves or someone else on accident? Much less situations like this. But it seems to happen more often with people who consider themselves far-right, very, very pro-Second Amendment people. These are not your normal average gun owners. Normal average gun owners are like, oh yeah, of course, I like hunting, I believe in self-defense, believe in the Second Amendment, but I'm not stupid about it. I lock my guns up, and I make sure to do things very safely. And we're totally fine with those people. Those people are not the problem. The problem, I believe, are the gun fetishists, the weirdos, okay, the Crumblies. And so, yes, they bought it for their 15-year-old kid. They didn't lock it up. And more importantly, they didn't take any of the red flags seriously that this boy was shown. And mainly because maybe they weren't there. Apparently, they weren't the best parents either. In fact, according to members of their community, they were distant. They didn't really get to know other parents. Supposedly a very, tight-knit community there. But hey, they didn't get to know people. They didn't want to be part of the community. And we also find out that James Crumbley was a bit of a deadbeat dad, owed thousands of dollars in child support for his other kid, and barely took care of this one, apparently. At least according to ex-neighbor Caleb Lemieux, who basically said that, yeah, the parents, James and Jennifer, would just leave Ethan home by himself all the time and go bar hopping. This is according to reports from the Detroit Free Press. So they'd always go out and just leave him alone. In fact, the former neighbor said, look, I worked with Jennifer back in 2012. We were friends. We were friendly towards each other and all that. But, you got to take care of your son. You got to take care of your son. And apparently, that's what broke that relationship because she was concerned, wanted to call CPS, or I believe she might have called CPS. It's like, hey, you got to do something. You got to have to actually be parents. But apparently not. Lemieux reportedly spoke with the Crumbley family about leaving their son alone when they go out to drink at the bars, according to 2015 Facebook messages obtained by the news outlet. You know what's funny? Whenever there's a discussion, I should say, on right-wing media, remember Bill O'Reilly? Every time there was violence, a black person, or even a discussion about crime and violence or shootings. Oh, gang shootings. We got gang shootings. Here we go. We got gang violence. The black people, inner city violence. Oh, where are the parents? Where are the families? Where are the fathers? Where are the fathers? Well, apparently, the fathers in this case are at the bar with the Trump-loving mom while their son draws murder cartoons and murder videos. I mean, you have failure after failure, codified failure. It's just, I'm sorry, I said codified. I meant to say something else. But it's cumulative. It's just stacked on failure, on failure, on failure, on failure of parents and the people around. but especially the parents, to see what's going on. And now, as a result of all of this, people are dead. And dead people don't come back. And so, yes, I know it's unprecedented to go and punish a parent in this case, charge a parent with involuntary manslaughter for the actions of their child. But in this case, it makes sense. How could you have missed all of that? You didn't miss it. You didn't miss it. Oh no. You saw this coming a mile away, you ignored it. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.